How's it going? This is a video or a talk about anger and women, and I feel it's very relevant at the moment. I wanted to just touch upon the benefit of anger. So generally, I know this is a black and white statement, but generally men struggle with being vulnerable and crying, tears, and generally, well, women do struggle with vulnerability as well, and that's where the anger comes from. It's a shield, it's a defense mechanism. But generally, women struggle with being angry. So they bottle it up. It's seen as being unladylike. Women want to be nice, they want to be polite, they want to be liked. Don't we all? But, men have more of a license to express anger than women do. Now, there's all sorts of excuses for this. The patriarchy, men keeping women down or not allowing them to be heard or to speak. So I don't buy any of that. I would deem all of that to be escape tactics, Houdini at his best. So take responsibility and view it from a different perspective, that your spirit on this journey has chosen to be quiet. And don't just observe your life as this one life. It can help to see it as part of an arc. If you look at just one piece of a 1,000-piece jigsaw, it doesn't really make any sense. You have no idea what the picture is. At least if you can have a little overview of a few pieces, you can generally get a little idea of the colour. The more pieces you have, the more of a picture obviously you're going to have. So you didn't just arrive in this life with anger. And the anger didn't just come because of your parents or your childhood or school or your ex-husband or whatever it was. This has been nurtured and has been within your being for a long, long time, for many lifetimes, as a part of abuse and being controlled or being killed or being raped or being all the violence that mother, that the feminine has encountered over many years and many lifetimes. But all that has been purposeful. It's been to bring you to where you are right now listening to this video. So as long as we take ownership of it and take responsibility for what our spirit, what we've drawn in to experience, we can then work with it. We can work through it and see what the purpose is. Whereas if we're a victim and we think we didn't ask for any of this and it didn't come, I can't help you, Let's assume that somewhere in your solar plexus right now, in your core, if you can tune in, that it resonates with you, that if in some little pocket it feels right, that you can take responsibility for who you are right now and for the anger and all the other things that you carry within you. So anger and rage, we know obviously can be very destructive and aggressive, can be very hurtful or damaging to other people and ultimately really to ourselves, because often after we express anger or rage we just feel depleted and guilt, shame, remorse, all that kind of stuff. That's the lower side of anger. Integrated anger is purposeful, and it's no coincidence that many women that I work with or that I see both struggle with anger and rage and also struggle with their voice being heard. So the two of those are completely connected. Integrated anger and rage is assertiveness, is being heard. I'll give you an example. So 3-ish years ago I went through an initiation under our mother goddess in a medicine ceremony. I didn't really know what was happening or why it was happening. And here I am. So it unfolded to work with feminine energy. It unfolded to work with women, to be purposeful. But I was told in that ceremony, in the medicine, that I'm a queen maker. Long story short, as the weeks and months went by, I began to feel quite uncomfortable with that term. I thought it just sounded a bit ridiculous. A bit new agey maybe, and a bit fluffy, and a bit, I don't know. And I remember I went back to the medicine and I asked, can I get rid of that term? Can I use something else? And really what I was told was, no, that it's not about the term, it's about the energy behind the term. If I own the term and I own Gavin as a queen maker, I am a queen maker, and explain blah 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 what that means, then people will be drawn to that energy. They will trust it, or it will resonate on some level. But if I'm kind of wishy-washy and if I'm not really behind it, I'm insecure about it, and I say I'm a queen maker, don't really know what it means, or it sounds a bit strange, well then, I'm going to draw in clients, if I draw in any, that are just drawn to this kind of diluted, milky, watered down queen maker, whatever it means. So I need to be centered in the work that I do. And that comes through the integration of my own anger and my own frustration at my own life, that's got me here, of being fucking lost and angry and frustrated and confused for many years, to make peace with that and integrate all that energy to be able to stand with force behind what I do and conviction. I'm convinced. I have total conviction in what I do now. I've seen the results in the people I work with. I've seen the benefit, and I trust myself enough that what comes through me, rarely do I need to sit with things or see if it feels right. Often I just trust the journey I'm on. I trust myself and I trust this work. If you feel that you're not being heard, or that people are not listening to you, a partner or a co-worker or kids or whoever, it doesn't really matter. It's your energy. You're not owning your energy. And I would go further and say you're not hearing you, you're not listening to you. So the reflection you're being shown is other people not hearing you or not listening to you. And that's your task. You've drawn in that challenge for you to overcome that, for you to own your space in the world and own your energy and express yourself, to be heard, to be assertive. And that could mean standing on a stage, or it could just mean fucking keeping your kid in line, or asserting yourself to your husband or your neighbour. It doesn't really matter. We can often kind of think, oh, this is really not really important. It's just my neighbour is noisy. It's not that important, But if you feel in your core, I have to assert myself, well, that's important to you. It doesn't matter what other people think. If they think that that's small, it might be small to them, but it might be important to you. So it's about you owning that within yourself, being present, honouring and witnessing that, yeah, I need to speak up. In this moment, I need to be heard. I need to express myself. The person might not hear me. That's the challenge. It's up to you to honour yourself, find that guidance, allow that guidance to come through, and then express yourself. Then you've cleared your side of the street. You've said your part. It's great for me, that people can give me a lot of power because they think, in a sense, that I'm an expert, or they think that I know best for them. And really I don't. I know best for me. I know best for me. I don't know best for you. You know best for you. So my work is to support and guide people into themselves, that they can make their own decisions and take responsibility for their own decisions and trust whatever unfolds from that. So it often unfolds at times that the people I work with have to stand up to me, say, no, that doesn't sit with me, that doesn't feel right. Often they can kind of feel like that it's like they're kind of standing up to the teacher. But I really enjoy it, because for me it's about seeing them assert themselves, and if they can do it with me, they can go out in the world and do it with whoever. That's an achievement for me. So you have a voice, and you have things to say, and you have a frequency which is more important. It's not necessarily about the words that I say, it's the frequency I'm in when I deliver them. And that frequency can activate people, or can resonate with people, or lift people up, or awaken people. But you, whoever you are listening to this, you have that too. And it's about ultimately finding that centre within yourself, which I teach people, and I've talked about in other videos and articles, about being centred, being in your power to witness whatever is passing through you. Witness the rage, integrate the rage, the anxiety, whatever it is. In that centered place, you can then stand in front of the person who pushes your buttons, or the person that you feel you need to express yourself or assert yourself to. And it's not that you're going to feel totally at ease and grounded. Maybe you will, but you might still feel anxious and afraid. And that's allowed, that's okay. The point is to still go through with it, to still express yourself. But I would reiterate that often people start to do this work and, someone pushes their buttons and then they think, I need to say something to them. And I would always kind of draw people back and say, let's just sit with it and work through it. Because often it's about integrating that pain or emotion first and then find what the guidance is. And there might not be any guidance. Don't need to say anything to that person. Once we've integrated our stuff, we kind of feel cool. And often as well, it's about being heard by you. The way to listen to you, the way to hear you, is to be present with you, is to witness the whole range of emotions that goes through you. As you listen to you and you're present with you more, you will need that less from other people. It can still be there at times, it's nice to be heard, but once I'm meeting my own needs, I can enjoy other people's company and I don't need them to be anything for me. So we've women who have been abused, be it in this life or in previous lives, and maybe who are in pain and vulnerable, and afraid of getting hurt again, afraid of being controlled or manipulated or taken advantage of. So rage is being presented to you because of that. On the other side of rage is that power. And it's not a power over other people, and it's not to abuse men or toy with men. I've talked about that in other videos, in the masculinity videos. It's about having total respect because they ain't doing anything wrong. You're drawing them in to test you and to teach you and to raise you. It's your responsibility to integrate that rage or whatever emotion it is. And then you're at peace with them. When I'm at peace with myself, I'm at peace with the world. When you integrate that stuff, the other person can just go about their business. You don't need to change them anymore. You don't need to teach them a lesson. They are the way they are. They will change, if anything, by your energy. As your frequency changes, they will change. Begin with, if you haven't already, allowing yourself to contemplate or allow that rage and anger. Acknowledge that it's within you and acknowledge that it's purposeful. It's not unladylike, and it's not that we express it. That's not the solution. We don't shout at people or attack people. You're digging a deeper hole then. So the aim is to be present with it, witness it, honour it. Those who work with me would know in detail really what that means, but just to allow it to breathe and flow through you. Honour who you are and what's being presented to you. And as you do that more and more, initially that would be terrifying, but as you do it more and more, you'll become more accustomed to the work. You'll express that rage at people less and less. And then you'll find in unusual situations that you're just more assertive, expressing yourself more. You're taking tiny steps just to express yourself, to own your place. And that's huge progress. That's the beginning. So that's what we need. We need women with integrated rage. We need women with this power. Don't dress it up as being something fancy, as being on stage or being some sort of fucking hero or savior. It's just you honouring who you are, expressing who you are in each moment, not being ashamed of it, not repressing it, not keeping it down. That brings that frequency through. That allows you to express that frequency, which affects and infects anyone around you and raises, awakens. It's a frequency of integrated rage that on some level in their being they will recognize, rather than the frequency of unintegrated rage or anxiety or addiction or whatever else. So the reason I have a course is that sometimes when people tune in and are present with this, with their own rage or addiction or whatever it is, it can be too much at times. It can seem overwhelming. And that's what I do. I would coach people through 8 weeks. I'm with you. I'm present. as you work with this sometimes feeling out of control frequency. But not everyone needs that. Some people can work through it bit by bit themselves. But if it's overwhelming, get in touch. Anyway, thanks for listening. Allow yourself to feel whatever's passing through you. Shame or grief or rage. It's part of being a human. It's normal. It's natural. It's okay. It's healthy. It's not unladylike. But also be open to working through it and learning how to work through it, how to integrate it. It's a great gift to yourself. You'll set yourself free of being at the mercy of these emotions. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll leave some links below. Be well.